She laughed while drinking and said, "You're not the guy I'd hook up with or be a FWB with. You're just the kind I'd marry." Everyone went silent. I stood up and left without a word. Next morning, she blew up my phone. We were at Mark and Sarah's backyard barbecue on a Saturday afternoon. The conversation was light, just jokes and weekend plans. Mark complimented me for helping him fix his deck, calling me a good dude. That's what set Susan off. She was on her third glass of wine and got that smirk she gets when she thinks she's being clever. "You're not the guy I'd hook up with or be a FWB with," she announced to the table. "You're just the kind I'd marry." The silence was deafening. Mark's smile froze. Sarah stared at her plate. My best friend Liam slowly shook his head. Susan seemed oblivious to the temperature drop, taking another sip like she just delivered the world's greatest compliment. I didn't look at her. I just pushed my chair back, stood up, and walked out without a word. The silence that followed me was more damning than any screaming match could have been. I spent that night sorting through 3 years of relationship red flags, the comments I'd brushed off, how she talked about expensive weddings, the digs about my sensible car. Her statement wasn't a slip-up. It was her entire philosophy about me laid bare. The next morning brought 17 missed calls and a flood of texts. They started angry. "Are you seriously giving me the silent treatment?" Then confused. "Are you okay?" Finally panicked. "Please call me." "I'm so sorry." It was a compliment, but her first reaction wasn't remorse. It was annoyance that her joke hadn't landed. The apology only came when she realized I was actually done. Within hours, Susan was spinning the story in our group chat, painting herself as the concerned girlfriend. She claimed I'd stormed out over a silly compliment and was having a mental breakdown. Sarah sent me a screenshot. "OMG, you guys were there." I told Alex he was marriage material, and he freaked out. I'm seriously worried about his mental state. I asked Sarah to add me to the group chat for exactly 1 minute. Then I posted, "To clarify, what Susan said was, you're not the guy I'd hook up with or be a FWB with. You're just the kind I'd marry. I am not unstable, and I was not flattered." The chat went dead silent. By quoting her exact words, I'd completely neutralized her spin. No one could twist that quote into a compliment. But the real problem was Italy. For a year, we'd been planning an $8,000 trip, with her owing me $2,500. Now it was canceled, but $5,800 worth of bookings were non-refundable. I sent her a formal email with a detailed spreadsheet. My share of the loss was $2,900. Her share was also $2,900. Since she still owed me $2,900, $2,500 from original cost, plus $400 for additional losses, she owed exactly $2,900. Her response wasn't an email. It was screaming voicemails calling me a loan shark. When I mentioned small claims court, she finally agreed to pay in installments. Susan wasn't done. She called my mother crying, claiming I was having a breakdown over a compliment. I told my mom the truth. She announced to 6 friends that I wasn't the kind of man she'd desire, but the kind she'd marry, like complimenting a dishwasher for being reliable. My mom went quiet. She said that in front of people? The final confrontation came at my cousin's engagement party. Susan crashed it uninvited, demanding to talk to her boyfriend. She was making a scene about throwing away 3 years because of one little comment. That's when Megan appeared, a woman I'd recently started dating from my hiking club. She calmly introduced herself and suggested Susan was interrupting. Susan lost it completely. "You replaced me in a month," she shrieked. "After everything I did for you, after I was willing to marry you." The word marry echoed in sudden silence. She'd just announced to my entire family the very transactional view she'd tried to frame as a compliment. My uncle escorted her out while she sent raging texts to my family. My mom just looked at her phone and blocked her number on the spot. A week later, the final $450 payment hit my account from her father's bank with the memo "Final payment."